We are back. Welcome to part two of messages for the chosen ones, the high priestess and high priests. And I am going to start off by saying that um, a lot of the collectives are going through a spiritual awakening, and at the same time, you are going through a spiritual attack. Um, because we are high priestess and high priests. And because of the fact that people are starting to acknowledge our powers, our strengths, and because of that, they will come after us. Um, because your enemies aren't just afraid of you, they are terrified. Um, do you ever wonder why, out of all the people that are around you, um, you are always targeted? You're always coming after. It isn't just something out of random. Um, it's something that they are targeting. And the thing about being chosen, it's not about what is on the surface. It is what you have inside as a power. And trust me, people can sense it. People can absolutely see your shine, the light that you hold inside of you. Um, it's a lot more weight that you hold, and it isn't just you're another face in the crowd that they can pick on, or they're just because they're your enemies. They take inspiration from you, and they see that you're evolving and you're growing, and you are becoming even more powerful than what you were at one particular time. Um, but they underestimated you. They spread lies. They talk about you and say that you're certain things that you're not. They feel like if they can break you, they can overcome your powers, and they can um they hate you because you remind them of everything that you are and what they can't have. um the way you push forward and the way you go against everything that is dark and everything that is not of the light, um they know that it's because they can't do it. um you are basically a reflection of their own failures, their failures, their lack of, um and every attempt that they take to block you only sharpens you, only sharpens your intuition. It sharpens who you are as a gifted one. um it's all about, them feeling better about themselves. So let them watch. Let them notice their choices and let them realize what they really do fear. And it wasn't just them watching you, it was them acknowledging who they are and what they are about. And they fear your powers, they feel your strength. um that war that they waged against you wasn't really about you. It was about the light that you carry. And they the way that you portray your powers and the way that you shine, um makes them acknowledge of what they are. Your very existence just makes them nervous. It makes them to the point where they can't face the fact that you endured all the fire, that you have so much greatness about you. It forces them to see that you are a better person, that you're a better being, and not because you wronged them or because you are better than them, but because they're not what you are, and they could never be. They could have chosen to grow. They could have chosen to be better, but they made excuses for the lack of. They were always capable. They just weren't willing. The strength that we carry, the things that we've done, we build it. We chase purpose. And their fear is that they can't fake the fire that you carry. Instead of elevating and making themselves better and making themselves just as powerful, they rather choose to be dark. The more they fight you, the more they expose their fertility, the more they realize that they're not powerful, the more they give you strength, the more they endure the smallness of their being, of their presence. You keep rising. While they chase all the distractions and all the nonsense, and they do all the witchcraft, and they do all the pettiness, and they go about doing all the negativity that they carry inside of them, you keep shining. You keep rising. What you carry is something that they can't ignore. Let them watch. Let them crumble under the weight of your strength. Whether they validate you or not, doesn't matter, because you're always going to rise. You were born to break the mold. This isn't rebellion. It's not facts that are not legitimate. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to lower yourself and be not successful in your being. You built your own path. You sat at tables that they couldn't sit in. They tried to steal your being. They tried to steal who you are as an image of you. But they can't do that. In a lot of words, you rewrote the game. Yes, you walk alone. Yes, you find yourself in seclusion. But that's something that you claim, and you claim in victory, because of the fact that they can't do what you do. The divine is molding you into something that is not predictable. They despise you because they can't understand you. The resistance that alone that you portray, they can't acknowledge. You know what? Eventually you're going to realize that you don't even need their system. You don't need them to be acknowledged. You're the one that bends the rules. You're the one that keeps it right, and you keep it safe. You don't need validation or permission from them to be who you are. You walk in purpose while they figure out what they're doing and try to recognize who they are. And their recognition is irrelevant. Look, they try to make it look like you got lucky, or you have some unfair advantage, that you cheated in the game, or you portrayed to be something that you're not. But they're too weak to endure the isolation. They're too weak to endure who you are as a person, as a chosen one. They're not powerful as you are. And they feel that. And no matter what they do, how much they whisper behind your back, how much they can't reach you, how much you're beyond their reach, you're always going to be 7 steps ahead of them. And they can't destroy you. And this system, the one that the divine created, it's created for them to keep them behind you. You became unstoppable. That's the reason they fear you. They can't catch up to you, and you always know the upper hand. You always have the upper hand. You always know what they're doing. They thought you were nothing, but you're everything. And whether they realize it or not, you're the most dangerous one in the room. That silence, that lack of communication is the one that underestimates you. Mistaking your silence for weakness. While they posted and they boasted about what they are and how bad they are, and you're in the shadows, you're building something real. You are the one that's becoming strong and powerful within your being. And you are unstoppable in their blind spot. We don't move like the rest of them. They rattle their plans out to anybody who listens. They anticipate everything because they think they can manipulate everything and put it into perspective so that people can see you for something that you're not. But they misread your stillness. They choose your quiet for weakness. But in reality, you were just sharpening your edge. You were being strong in your own spot. They were waiting for you to fail while you were succeeding, while you were growing, while you were shining in the starseed that you are. And now they're scrambling. They're running. There's something that they can't prepare for. To sabotage you. And you are undeniable. You're explosive. They don't have any inclination of who you are or what you're about. Their assumptions have gathered them and led them into a place where they can't even walk. They can't walk in your spot. But they forgot one thing, that some matters are won before they are even fought. You gave them the illusion that they had control, all while you were setting the stage for the moment to come. As they watch you step fully into your shine, they never stood a chance. Because when you master invisibility and you master the magic that comes in you, it's unexpected. They were never prepared for someone like you. You're a threat to them. And now they have no choice but to watch. The best part about it is, this is just a beginning. This is just a beginning. The universe warned them about you. Your ancestors tried to warn them about you, but they made the mistake and not listen. It wasn't paranoia. It was a warning. And the universe in its infinite power tried to give them all kinds of warnings against coming after you, coming after what you are. But they chose to be what they are. They didn't realize that the balance that you would shift instead of heeding that call. I don't know, maybe they thought that their power was stronger than you, or that you were untouchable. But they went against themselves. You're not another face in the crowd. They couldn't silence you. not another person that they could shatter. What they didn't realize is that they're never safe, because coming after you was the biggest mistake they could ever make. The universe was giving them a chance to evolve, to give them warnings, and instead of rising and knowing that they were doing the right thing by backing up and letting you shine the way you're supposed to shine, they wanted to come after you because they sensed something different about you. They want to elevate themselves and give themselves pride and give themselves dignity that they have none of. And instead of adapting to who you are, discrediting you and pretending that you didn't exist, they wanted to make you look like something that you weren't. But what they don't realize is that the prophecy that they laughed at is unfolding in front of their eyes. The divine's going to bring them to your table. They're going to have to eat your meal. It was about balance that being restored. And they tried to hold on to something that never was really theirs. Because power, real power, doesn't belong to those who steal it. It belongs to those who it was destined for. And watching the one that needs to shine and needs to rise above is something that they have to ignore now. Every opportunity they had to back up, it all led to this moment. The universe didn't warn them to punish them. It warned them to warn them against what they were going to get in return, because everything they sent to you was going to be sent back. But they didn't listen. This wasn't written by you. This was written by the universe and the divine. And I guess they're finally realizing that they're not going to win. That they can't take your throne. That they were never meant to rule. You're just not one person of power. You're not just one person. You're 1,000 battles fought in silence. You're a bunch of warriors, a bunch of survivors. And your enemies, they're just not facing you. They're going to have to fight. And they don't have the potential to fight. You're actually the echo of those who came before you. The force that moves through you isn't just your own. And your unshaken resilience, that's not just because you were sent. You are a chosen one. What they don't realize is they're standing against the weight of history themselves. No matter how much they plot, you're going to keep rising. You're going to go forward and you're going to shine like the star that you're meant to be. Every obstacle that you break through is for those who came before you, your ancestors. For those who never saw justice. You're the one. You are the one that's going to fight against them and force destiny. You're going to have a rise that they can't stop. You're the curse breaker. You're the one that can't be held back. And they fear that. They fear what you represent. That the oppressed do not remain bound. Through those that refuse to break, they're going to see that they can't manipulate, they can't control, they can't guide anything. This is your destiny. This isn't fate. This is reality. Something that was written long before they were even existing. They know how to manipulate things, but they don't know how to have strategy. That's why they'll lose. You're not here by accident. You're exactly where you need to be, exactly at the right time, and for exactly the right purpose. The universe sent you because it was you they needed. They are just nothing but a meek of dust beneath your bloodline's purpose. And the only thing they're doing is making your rise. Your light exposes their lies, their deceit, and it's the one that's going to seize them to be silent. They fear you because of who you are. It's going to disrupt all the fragile illusions they build about them, around themselves, like a bridge or like a wall. It's something that they can't stop. Everything that they carefully hid came to light when you walked in, when you became the shine that you are. They'll never understand. They'll never understand what it truly is. That's why they feared you. Because you're real. You move in truth and they can't manipulate that. Your presence alone makes them shake. They feel exposed. It's not that you did anything to them directly. It's the weight of your authenticity. It's who you are. It reminds them that they're not what they think they are. Every time they abandon growth in favor of comfort, in favor of being greedy and want money, they know that they've done the worst when you walk into a room, because they feel it. And then they wonder why they can't stand to be around you. They're scared. They have no inclination of who you are or the power you hold. The truth of it all burns them like a fire. They don't have any inclination of how powerful you are, chosen ones. You don't need to dim yourself to make them comfortable. That's not your right. They could have embraced their own lives. They could have gone through the challenges you went through. They could have been everything or maybe even more of what you've been. But now, that's their problem, not yours. You're not the one that's got to play by their rules. You're not the one that's got to be guilty for or feel guilty because they ain't rising. You walk the path that most will never have the courage to walk. And they're going to have to face their own truth and fight their shadows, their darkness. Either way, you remain shining. You remain being who you are. You remain in your truth. And destroy their illusions. Destroy all their lies. Because they're going to realize the moment you walk in the room, that truth walked in the room. And everything they had planned, it's gone. It all stops. They didn't even understand why. They're so dumb. They're so ignorant. They're such idiots. They don't see. They like manipulating the weak. They like manipulating those who keep quiet, who are in silence. But you really didn't even have to speak. Your energy, your light, you're powerful. You don't have to fight for space. You're a chosen one. You carry that. The minute you walk into a room, they notice it. They felt that shift before you even realized who you were. Do you notice how people change when you walk into a room? How they keep quiet? How they look? It's because they recognize something in you. You carry truth. And that can't be decided to put aside. It's a deception. They don't know what to do when you come in. It didn't fall apart because you attacked them. It fell apart because they thought they were untouchable. They wanted to control their way to the top. But they can't force themselves against the universe. That's their downfall. They're trying to fight something that's unfightable. They can't fight it. Your name is so powerful that even demons are scared of it. Know who you are. Know your energy. Because it's the energy that guides the chosen ones. It's not an illusion. It's not just words I'm speaking. These are words that the divine sent me to send to you. The real power is being revealed. And now they're scrambling. They don't know where to go. Their usual tactics aren't working. And their time at the top, it was just an illusion. And they're realizing that because the real force, the real force, the chosen ones have arrived. And let them struggle with it. They never even seen it coming. I know that they've come after me in so many ways. And they can't understand that I'm the mystery. They tried to manipulate people that I love, to invite me into their circle. I haven't been around them in months. They don't know what to do with me. I don't fit their script. I don't move the way they expected me to move. And that shakes them to their core. They're used to being one thing or the other. They're either strong or soft. But me, I'm both. And that's why they're scared. I terrify them. Because they assume I'm weak when I blindside them. And you're the same way. My silence makes them think that they have me figured out. That drives them insane because they can't figure me out. They had me pegged and they didn't know anything of me. They assumed that they can get certain people in my family to come at me and I'm going to say, oh, sure, I would love to. The fact that they can't predict my next move drives them crazy. The fact that I don't follow their rules and regulations makes them angry. They expect me to crave validation from them, to bow before them, so-called family members and the higher ups. They're the society club. I bow to nobody but God. And then you think about it and you sit there and you say, how do you control paradox like them? You don't. Because they're wasting time trying to make sense of my existence like they do with you. I don't need to explain myself. I just am. And that's why they fear me. Because I exceed the limits of their small minds. They expect you to be something they can control, they can manipulate. They try to box you in. They try to confine you in ways that makes them comfortable. But you're just not like everybody else. They think they have you figured out, but they don't. That's why you're going to leave them scrambling. Chosen ones, they don't hate you because you're chosen. They hate you because you're not weak. Your very existence is proof that the world that they thought didn't exist exists. And they can't stand that. For those that are listening to this that aren't chosen, let me put it to you this way. You haven't won anything. And my advice to you is you need to fall back. You need to take care of your business and get ready. Because what's coming after you, what's falling on you, you will not be prepared for. Me, on the other hand, I'm prepared and I'm open to what the divine has in store for me. See, because what's written for me and what's for me will always be for me. You can't take that away. Nobody can. And what the divine has written is written. My warning to you is to start thinking about you. To start thinking about the moves that you make. Start thinking about your family and the mistakes that you're making and how everything that you're doing to me and everything that you're sending at me is going to be sent right back to you. Everything you've done, everything you've tried to do is going to be reversed. And I don't have to do a darn thing because it's the universe and the divine that's going to take care of that. So stop hating. Stop trying to be something you're not. Stop falling or trying to fall into my existence, into my energy, into my being, because that don't belong to you. Find your own being. Find your own existence. Find your own energy. Because mine isn't up for grabs. And so I'm going to put it to you this way. You need to do you. And you need to do it before you find yourself without anything. You've already lost enough. I, on the other hand, won't lose anything. I'm highly protected. And you need to stop doing what you're doing. It's sad that you could have had all the love in the world from me. It's sad that I could have been so much for you. And now, all I can do is pray for you. I forgive you. I send you compassion. But I'm done. Now fall back. Because whether you know it or not, you've marked your own fate. Chosen ones, rise above. Don't fear anyone. You're highly protected. And you're going to shine regardless. So remember, my friends, who you are.